Exactly. You have to find an excuse. The tag light was just a way to get to that end, correct?
Okay.
So you have no idea who's associated with the items in that bag.
Court does not find probable cause due simply to proximity.
You can gin up a traffic stop for any reason you like.
After a suspicious conversation overheard in a convenience store bathroom, this officer radioed ahead to other officers to find a reason to stop the truck this lady happened to be riding in. I'm assuming he overheard the male occupants of the vehicle, otherwise what was he doing in the ladies' can? Cops found a felony kit right next to her on the back seat, but this defense lawyer can smell a weak stop from miles away. Watch this talented attorney shred the state's case so bad the prosecutor throws in the towel halfway through. Let's roll, nerds.
Matter does regularly come before the court this date for preliminary hearing. And Sergeant Tharp, if you'd raise your right hand, I'll administer an oath.
Sir, I want to direct your attention then to July 26, 2024 at approximately, it looks like 11:32 p.m.
Yes, I was there, and I believe that I was there pretty much simultaneously when he conducted the traffic stop.
Do you know what Miss Sims was initially pulled over for?
Miss Sims was a passenger in the vehicle.
Do you know what the vehicle was pulled over for?
A defective tag light.
Okay, thank you. And you kind of brought me to my next question. When the vehicle was stopped, who all was in the vehicle and where is everybody respectively located?
So there were 3 occupants in the vehicle. The first one, I believe, who was the driver, I believe his name was Kent Hoover. The front seat passenger, I believe, was Anthony Hoover. And then Miss Sims, who was sitting in the back seat, but behind the passenger side, if that makes sense.
Okay, so Miss Sims is the only individual in the back seat, correct?
Correct.
And that's kind of just like a bench seating, or?
Yes, it's a Chevy Silverado, so like crew cab or extended cab, so bench seat in the back.
Okay, gotcha. At some point, is there a determination that the investigation is going to extend beyond the traffic violations?
Yes.
How did that come to be?
So the front seat passenger had a active warrant through Wilson County, and as we were going through that, we also had gotten Miss Sims' information, but she had provided a different name at that point in time, and we was unable to get any returns or as far as like wants and warrants or any kind of return at all.
Okay.
And ultimately, as we was taking Anthony Hoover into custody, marijuana came into play. He admitted that he had some marijuana on him, and I had observed some in the pocket of the passenger door. And at that point, it became a drug law violation investigation. Both occupants, which was Miss Sims and Kent Hoover, were removed from the vehicle, and secured, and then a search of the vehicle was conducted.
Okay. And were you one of the individuals that searched the vehicle?
I was. On the bench seat towards the middle, just to, I believe it would be with the left of where the female was sitting, Miss Sims, I located a blue and color zip case. Inside the zip case, I found a glass pipe with burn marks and white residue, and a small baggie containing 2 large crystalline rocks, which I recognized from my training experience to be methamphetamine. I had also found a plastic bag that appeared to be utilized for trash. I opened the bag and found a small black and color zip bag. I opened this bag and found a baggie containing green botanical substance, which I recognized through my training experience to be marijuana. I also found a prescription pill bottle without a label. Inside that prescription pill bottle, I found 3 baggies that were tied, and each contained white crystalline substance, which I recognized through my training experience to be methamphetamine.
It sounds like it was in what, like a small zip case, a travel case or something like that?
Yes.
Okay. Would that case have been in plain sight to an individual that was sitting in the back seat, specifically where Miss Sims was sitting?
I don't recall specifically, but that would be my assumption, yes.
Okay. Well, it was sitting on the seat, correct? Not on the floorboard?
Correct. That's the way that I have it described in my narrative.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
It looks like that it was a bag with crystalline substance that was submitted, and the results was methamphetamine, an approximate weight of 4.7 grams.
So I'm assuming then at this time that Miss Sims was taken into custody?
Yes, ultimately she was taken into custody.
Were you ever able to, how did you eventually find out her real name? I know you said initially she had given you an alternative name.
So the driver, Kent Hoover, had actually provided a name and an approximate age. And at that point, I was able to find in our history a name and birthday that would match that. I ran it, and it ultimately came back to be Miss Sims.
Okay. And did she have any warrants on that name?
She had an active warrant through Wilson County as well.
Okay. So she was then, I'm assuming, arrested on the warrant and the drugs?
Correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't think I have any further questions for Officer Tharp. Thank you. Mr. Watts may have some.
Deputy, I'm going to start at the beginning. This case starts, well, let's put it this way. You testified on direct that the vehicle was stopped because it had a tag light out. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's not fully correct, is it? That's not the entire story, is it?
As far as, what do you mean?
The vehicle wasn't stopped because it had a tag light out. The vehicle was stopped because you found it suspicious after a conversation in a bathroom at over in Wichita, and you called ahead to get the vehicle stopped because it had a tag light out. It wasn't the tag light was a means to an end. It was not the end in itself. Isn't that correct?
It's a legal justification for the stop. I can't just stop vehicles because of having a suspicion or feeling a certain way.
Exactly. So you have to find an excuse.
I have to find a legal way to stop the vehicle. Yes.
Exactly. You have to find an excuse. So the reason for the stop was because you found something suspicious. The tag light was just a way to get to that end. Correct?
Okay.
Correct?
Your Honor, objection. I mean, I think this has been already answered in multiple times by the officer.
Now,
Sustained.
let's go a step further beyond that. Who's the vehicle registered to?
I don't have that in my narrative. I don't know off the top of my head, sir.
Did you put it in your police report? Did you file a report, or is it just the narrative?
I didn't print off the case report. I just have my narrative with me, sir.
Okay. You did not note in your report at all who the vehicle was registered to?
No, I did not record that in my narrative.
Do you not think that's important?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay. Now, let's speak to the back seat in particular.
Okay.
Ms. Sims is sitting in the back seat, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as I understand it, reading the reports and listening to testimony, this is a wide bench seat, basically a full across the back seat, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. She is sitting where on that bench seat? Left side, right side?
The right side behind the passenger.
She's behind the passenger.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as I understand it, the case goes beyond a traffic stop for a tag light when you proceed to get everybody's names in the vehicles, correct?
No, sir.
Is that right?
Can you rephrase your question? Because I guess I don't understand.
For a typical traffic stop, the person who's responsible for the vehicle is the driver, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there's no obligation for other people in the vehicle to even provide their names, is there?
No, there's no legal obligation.
Okay. But you proceeded to collect everybody's names in the vehicle.
Yes,
Correct.
that happened. Yes.
And that's, of course, because this wasn't really a traffic stop, correct?
It was a traffic stop.
Well, I know that's the reason, but that's not why you're there. You end up running wants and warrants, and the passenger, Anthony, I think it's Anthony, had an outstanding warrant, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it also turns out he has some marijuana, either it's on his person or right by him, correct?
Yes, sir.
Which led to a full search of the vehicle, a PC search of the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Ms. Sims is sitting in the back passenger seat. That would put her on the right side of the vehicle, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You wrote on your narrative. Do you have your narrative before you?
I do.
Okay. You wrote on your narrative on the back bench seat towards the middle, just to the right where the female was sitting.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
to the right where the female was sitting would be the passenger door, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir.
So it was to the left of where the female's sitting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Not a big deal. You found a blue case. We're talking about a hard case, a soft case, a bag. What is it?
I believe it was like a soft zip case, so kind of like a makeup bag almost.
Okay. And you found there, inside that bag, a Ziploc bag with some marijuana in it and some 3 baggies with what you believe to be meth, correct? That was your testimony?
I don't believe I notate anything as far as marijuana. I just have the glass pipe and.
Okay. You're correct. The glass pipe and the methamphetamine. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you find anything else in that bag?
I don't believe so. Not that I have documented.
It's important in a case such as this, which we're proving here, possession. We're tying these items to a particular individual or individuals, correct?
Yes, sir.
So it'd be important to look for things like identifications, driver's licenses, check stubs, credit cards, bills, the kind of stuff that we all kind of collect that has our names on it.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yeah.
You didn't find anything like that in that bag, did you?
No, sir, or else it would have been documented.
So you have no idea, in fact, who's associated with the items in that bag, correct?
Other than it is in the area of her immediate possession.
Okay. It's an area of her immediate possession. Does area of immediate possession necessarily require control?
I think that can probably be argued, but not necessarily, no.
Not necessarily. This case began with you standing in a Quick Trip, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You're around all kinds of things that are in your immediate possession or immediate reach. Were they in your possession?
No, sir.
Okay. So immediate reach doesn't mean possession at all, does it?
Not the way that you explain it, no.
Okay. Did you do any DNA testing of the items inside the bag?
No, sir.
Did you do any fingerprinting of the items in the bag or the bag itself?
No, sir.
And Ms. Sims did not acknowledge that the bag was hers, did she?
Not that I have documented, no.
Okay. So we have Ms. Sims in the back seat of a truck that is not hers with a person who has acknowledged methamphetamine on his possession. That would be Mr. Hoover, correct?
He acknowledged marijuana, yes.
Do you have any indicia of actual possession of these items aside from she happened to be sitting by them?
No, sir.
No. I don't think I have anything else. Thank you.
Redirect, Mr. Sweeney.
I don't think I have any redirect for purposes of this hearing, Your Honor, no. I do think it's worth noting that Miss Sims, after they eventually found out that that was her name, was the only one on that back bench seat. So at the time, and in that the methamphetamine was found, and at the time the vehicle was pulled over, she would have been the only one, I guess, to have kind of direct access to it because she's the only one on that back bench seat. Yes, there were other items found in the vehicle. Someone else was driving, but it's in plain view as testified to by the officer, and she's the only one back there. And there's methamphetamine, and it was positive as tested by the KBI. So, not a very overly complicated fact pattern, but I think certainly one that justifies probable cause, and the state would ask the court to find the same.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Argument, Mr. Watts.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would agree with Mr. Sweeney. It is not that unusual a fact pattern. Most of the time, however, when we have a car and we associate items found in a car, they're associated with either A, the owner and controller of the car, or the person has something on their person or something to connect them with that person. For example, often person will have some methamphetamine on a floorboard or on a console, but they'll have a pipe in their pocket, or they'll have a little bit of a baggie in their pocket, or something on their person that connects them to the item. Or even more commonly, it's the person who is the owner and occupier and control of the car. Typically, it's the one person in the car. What we have here is somewhat different. And essentially, we have a car that is not owned by Ms. Sims, as far as we can tell. Interestingly enough, the officer didn't seem to think it was important enough to note who the car was registered to, but the driver is not Ms. Sims. Mr. Sweeney speaks of the item being in plain view, but that's not entirely correct either. What they found was a blue bag. A blue bag is not obvious at all as to what's in the blue bag. It's a blue bag. It may or may not have drugs in it. Unless Ms. Sims looks in it, she really has no way of knowing what's in it, unless Ms. Sims has x-ray vision, and I suspect that's not the case. So her being near, and something I learned long ago in front of another judge in this district, being near something is not evidence of a crime. Being near other people who are committing crimes is not evidence of a crime. Proximity by itself tells us nothing. And that's what we have here, Your Honor. Proximity by itself. We have no evidence that Ms. Sim was aware of the items in the bag. We have no evidence that she had any possession of the items in the bag. We have no DNA or fingerprint. We have no identifying items, the sort of items that we all carry that identify our stuff as ours. My billfold is identifiable as mine because it has my driver's license and the bills and credit cards and the stuff with my name on them. My wife's purse is identifiable because it has that sort of thing in it. This bag, as far as we can tell, doesn't have anything like that. We have nothing to tell us who it belongs to. Judge, I understand this is probable cause and the standard here is incredibly low, but it takes something more than being by the drugs to demonstrate you're in possession of drugs.
Thank you, Mr. Watts. The court subsequently does adopt the arguments as presented by the defense today, and the court does not find probable cause due simply to proximity. And subsequently, the court, once again, does not find probable cause to believe that the defendant, Ms. Sims, committed the crime as alleged.
There are some misdemeanors that are still left, so I don't know how the court wants to necessarily deal with that and where we ought to put this case next.
If Your Honor, give me a few minutes, we may be able to resolve this case today.
Court takes 10-minute recess.
Okay, Your Honor, I think we're ready to proceed. Rat, just so you know, if the state would take a plea to count 3 interference, we could resolve this today.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing left, so.
And I know that, Brad, I know the reason why they stopped it isn't technically part of it, but one of these days, we're going to get a ruling from the Supreme Court to overturn one of the stupid rulings the Supreme Court's made, which is you can gin up a traffic stop for any reason you like, so you can find an excuse to pull people over. And maybe at some point we'll get rid of that silly ruling, so I'm going to keep pounding on that issue. Your Honor, given the ruling of the court, we believe we have a resolution of this matter which will resolve the case and end it having to proceed further. It's my understanding my client would plead guilty to count 3 of the information, interference with law enforcement, a Class A misdemeanor. State would dismiss the remaining count 2, which is a paraphernalia, which is, of course, very closely related to the count 1 that the court found no probable cause on.
Your Honor, that's accurate, and I think, given the court's ruling, probably the only count that's left in the information. And and I think we're ready to proceed with sentencing today, should the court wish to.
And Ms. Sims, Mr. Watts has advised the court you do wish to enter a plea of guilty of count 3, interference with law enforcement, a Class A non-person misdemeanor. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Speak up so I can hear you.
And you understand you could be sentenced up to 1 year in the county jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had adequate and sufficient opportunity to consult with Mr. Watts prior to entering your plea here today?
Yes, I have.
Ms. Sims, the court does find that you are knowingly and voluntarily entering your plea of guilty to count 3 only. Court does grant you a 12-month reporting probation. Court does order you to obtain a drug and alcohol evaluation. Court does make inquiry. Ms. Sims, are you currently employed?
No, I am not, Your Honor.
How long has it been since you worked?
I would say about a year.
All right. Subsequently, the court does not order payment of attorney fees nor bids application fee. Immediately after this hearing, I do order you to report to court services. There being nothing further to come before the court, court is in recess.